Right, hello people of the internet. I've had a lot of people asking about units and etc of the game and all that, and there's only just recently started to be some tips and tricks and all this other stuff, such as Dadbod and Z, who are very helpful in this game and have helped me out quite a bit. I'm going to make my own version of this and use my knowledge that I have gained via playing on server 1, so the soft launch, and my main account now on server 2. So, to get started off, if you are a new player to this game, when you're on a new server, this is obviously my main account and it's all built up and all that. But for a new account, what you want to be doing when you're ready to get your summons, you go over to the recruitment in the bottom left corner. You go over to normal summons here, and in the top right up corner up here, you should have 40 summons, which you get from here. This is once you have done your basic like plot, etc. So once you've unlocked this and claimed your summons, you want to go over to recruit, to normal, excuse me, and then you want to do these pulls down here. I'm not going to press it because I'm saving my gems, but where my gems are, you will click on that and do your 40 temples. If you look on here, we have all of the rates for the normal SSRs. And bear in mind, wishlist summons, the normal summons, you won't see units like Zenji or Hannibal because they're exclusive units. So on here we have all of these units at 3.6% drop rate. Light and dark units are 0.15 or 0.15. I strongly recommend not trying to focus any of these units just because of how hard they are to get up. But if you're a whale and you've got money to spend on them, go ahead, by all means. But yeah, how the wishlist summons work. You see here, it is 3.82% drop rate. You have to do 100 summons to unlock this, where you can select units, etc. So if I can take off Dante, not Dante, Da Vinci and Octavius, and I select them. And if you look here, you can select a max of 2 huntresses each day. Each takes effect one time, and the acquisition chance is 30% of the total 4-type SSR chance. So what this means is, here, they're both on here at a 3.82 drop rate, but with them being selected, when I do a pull, their drop rate is increased to 30% instead of being the normal 3.82. Which is super helpful to get your units up. And a lot of people have been asking, how should I use the wish list? Do I focus one unit and not that? It is entirely up to you how you want to focus your units. How I've been doing mine, if you see here, I have Shake at 3-star, so I'm getting Oct and Da Vinci up. But let's say for instance, if Octavius was 3-star and Shake wasn't, then on my normal summons, I would take off Octavius, and then put in Shake and get her up. So I like to get all my units up at the same time, so I'm not held back a later game. And when you first get the game, you'll have like your random units and all that, what you've leveled up, etc, etc. The best team to go for if you're re-rolling to get like the best rolls and obviously etc. The best units you want to get for your starter are wind units, because once you unlock this engrave dungeon, you see here we have wind, which is the very first one, and if you look here, you can only use wind units. I can't use earth, water, fire, light, dark. I can't use any of those. Only wind will work in this engrave. And the next stage after this is fire, which opens up. For me, it's 19 days because I've obviously had this server's been up for a lot longer. But normally it would be like 32 days or something, unless you beat floor 16. Which you kind of need to will to get that done very quickly. So, units I would recommend you pull if you are re-rolling are Hu Tao, who is a super great healer. She's one of my favourites. She can heal. She heals off of her base of her 80k. So, if you look on my build of her, I have her with HP and 80k. With this, her HP will be buffed, so she can be a bit tanky, and her 80k is high, so she can heal for a lot. And also, the good thing about Hu Tao is that once you get her in quests, if you see here, you can when you complete chapters, you get obviously loot. But I believe it is chapter 5 or 6 where the reward for completing that chapter, you get Hu Tao for free just for beating that chapter, which is great. And also, if you go over to here in the Lost Garden shop, you are able to buy Hu Tao, and to get these shards, you will need to be obviously doing Lost Garden, and you get these, which are mystery currency, which you can obviously buy units or anything else you need, like these two, which I'm buying because I can get Hu Tao to 6-star. Well, she already is 6-star. And the great thing about Hu Tao is that in Engrave Dungeon, if you see here, first clear, you can get Hu Tao shards. In Wind Engrave, from floor 1 up to floor 10, you get Hu Tao. You get 1 Hu Tao copy for each first clear. You don't even need to get 3 stars, you just need to beat the stage and get past it, which is super helpful. Which is why my Hu Tao is already 6-star, because it's just so easy to get her up. Now, the next unit I'd recommend is Shake. She's very helpful early and mid game. I just love her so much because she can be built so tanky. And if you look at this, her Aegis skill, heartened by her fans, at the start of the turn, Shakespeare dispels 2 of her debuffs and increases her defense by 3% for 2 turns. This is super helpful, super helpful, because during like plot and all that, you'll begin to see you're versing this character, Mick, and when she gives her, I'm not sure which one it is, I believe it's this one, yes, this one. So when she gives her team shield, she gives the frontline enemies a shield, which with that shield, she burns your team. She burns your whole team. And with this, when you attack, you will be taking damage, which is very annoying. But with Shake, if she's built tanky, like mine's not up, because I don't have a higher physical badge or anything for her. That's the best I've got for her. But I built her with HP and defense to make her tanky as hell. And when I'm versing Mick, she will be able to obviously dispel her debuff. And when she is 4-star, she will be able to dispel all her debuffs and increase her defense by 90%, which is very helpful when during boss fights, etc. Like if you're stuck on 740 or 1040, Shake is definitely a unit you want, with her being able to dispel her debuffs, because she will only be frozen. She'll get frozen and dispel it straight away. She's just so helpful for that. The next unit is Octavius. Now, a lot of players know Octavius. We know how she works, but some people don't. But Octavius is basically a unit you want to build with crit. So if we look at her, let's see, this skill, her floating sword dance. When an enemy is sent flying, Octavius will pursue and attack this target 5 times, each dealing 67% of her 80k in physical damage. Now this is super helpful. If you look at this skill here, she has a 60% chance to launch and send flying. For me, it is a 100% chance because I obviously have her 2-star and I have her up. But if she's 1-star, she will, or just have her, she'll have a 60% to send flying. When target is sent flying, I believe it is, yes, this skill again. She will basically attack that unit that is sent in the air, which will be super helpful. And I believe if I can, because I'll go into tower. Watch it, she'll die instantly. So, as you can see here, Oct is back here on my back line. If you watch her skill, you will see what she technically does. You see that? Obviously it throws, which is very annoying. But if you saw, just then, she launched a unit in the air, which deals damage. So it's almost like a base attack. She just sends them flying. She won't necessarily always send them flying, but she has a high chance to. She will deal a lot of damage to them if she's built with crit and crit damage. And she'll deal damage when launching them. And once they are launched, she will attack them again to deal more damage, which is great and super helpful. And also on the events page, once you're like a new player and you've just started the game, there will be a tab within here that shows, it should be, it's almost like a beginner pack. So there's 10 days worth of it, and on day 5 or 6, you get Octavius for being you want to be level 45, and you need to have logged in on the 5th day, and you'll be able to get her for free, which is super helpful. If you're not patient with waiting for that, obviously you can do the recruit and pulls on her, or in events. If you look here, I can buy Da Vinci, which will be the next unit we'll talk about. You can buy Da Vinci when I buy these crystals here. And within this tab, you will see Octavius. And it's super helpful early game. She's only $1 or like 79 pence in the UK or whatever your currency. She's super cheap. She's just about literally $1. Not even that, she's 99 cents basically. But yeah, super helpful to get her, and she's one unit you want to focus on for like throughout the game, almost basically. Now, the next unit is Da Vinci. Da Vinci, you kind of need Octavius, so the best 2 to pull for is Octavius and Da Vinci. But if you can't pull Octavius, you can obviously buy her for $1 or wait for a late game, well, later on in the game, and then just get Da Vinci or Shakespeare or Da Vinci and Hu Tao. But Da Vinci is greatly paired with Octavius, with her first spell, Tornado. Da Vinci summons a small tornado to deal 96% of her 80k magical damage to the target with the highest speed, with a 60% chance to send them flying. Now, if we look at Octavius' skill, embodiment of floating sword dance, when enemies isn't flying, she will attack them. So, with Da Vinci sending them flying, Octavius will attack them. Unless Octavius is stunned, or is like entwined by like Robin or anything like that. Obviously she can't attack them, but if she's fine and she's alive, she will attack that unit that is sent flying, which is super, super helpful. And she only attacks the target with the highest speed, which is kind of hard to tell when versing plot, and obviously anywhere around the game. But when versing her, going against Da Vinci and Octavius, with me, Octavius has 203 speed. So if I'm versing Da Vinci and Octavius, Da Vinci will launch my Octavius, and the Octavius on the enemy team will kill mine. So what I like to do, for me, my crit has speed. So what I have done, I have made a backup crit badge, so I can swap it out. So she's still having a buff to her crit and her crit chance a bit, which is not going to be attacked first, which is super helpful. As you probably noticed that I've got Robin Hood. She is a super helpful unit. The only annoying thing is that wrong thing is that, like I said before, you can't get exclusive units. Obviously, if you look in here, in the go on here onto the wind units, as you can see, she's nowhere to be seen in here. That's because she is an exclusive unit, so she has her own banner here. She's just passed on server 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think 5 maybe, but she's just passed, which is really unfortunate. But once she gets her rerun and she rerolls again, I highly recommend you pull for her. I will go on to my alt account, well, my main technically, and I will show you the next wind unit I'd recommend you save your gems for. Now, whilst we are going on to my main / alt account, the account I've ditched basically because it's so messed up, we will be going on to the next unit that I was going to talk about before my video corrupted, which is super fun. So, haven't touched this account in almost a week. But yeah, over here, Takanaka. This is on server 1, which was the soft launch server, so I already have her. Didn't pull her many times because I was so dumb, and I wasted like a bunch of gems to do 30 pulls to get her once, and I didn't pull her again because I was just dumb. But either way, she is a buffing unit. So she gives your team, she provides a shield equal to 100% of her ATK to herself and adjacent allies. So for me, obviously this account is level 100, so it's got quite a fair amount of substats. But at level 1, with no gear, she has 20,000 ATK. So at level 1, she will be giving my whole team and herself a 20,000k shield that can absorb 20,000 damage, which is very helpful, super helpful for especially in engrave. If you don't have Robin, she's like the sub Robin basically, but within world boss and guild boss, she is much better than Robin, due to the fact that both those bosses excuse me, that both those bosses are immune to all debuffs. But with Takanaka giving everyone a shield, she can make everyone else on your team stay alive and deal a lot more damage and take hella damage. Now this Sentimentalist skill, you will see that it says she sends target into the air, not flying. That's because she can't send targets flying like Da Vinci, Octavius, and Shakespeare. She will send targets in the air and then slam them to the floor, thus stunning them. Obviously, this won't work against World Boss and Guild Boss, but it will work with an engrave, which is very helpful when versing Mick and a Flame team or a Freeze team, especially also within plot, because some bosses have a chance to be immune to debuffs. So if this chance increased to 100%, you're gonna have a high chance of stunning a boss, which is super helpful. Just basically, it's kind of hard to explain to her because I haven't used her before, but from what I've seen from like the JP server, she's absolutely amazing, especially going against her within like arena, etc., and all that stuff. Like here, you've got like Takanaka there. She's so good, super helpful. She's just absolutely amazing, especially with this engrave. Once you're like past 410, going past up to 16, she's highly recommended. If you don't have Robin, that is. But she's just such a good unit to have. But yeah, if I'm correct, I believe she will be out within the next month or two. 2 months, two months to 2 months and a half at the latest, because that is around the time that Fortune Cat will be coming out, which I will make a video on when it comes out. But yeah, those are all of the units I recommend you try and pull for to help you early, mid to late game. Obviously at the moment I'm only mid game, getting close to late game, not so close as I would hope. But once I'm close to late game and I'm using more units that I need, I will obviously make a team for that. And with server 2 being the latest server, like after server 1, that has the earliest stuff. Once Flame Engrave is unlocked for myself, or I get to floor 16, which will probably not happen within the next 20 days, I will make a video on a flame team that I recommend you make. So if you have any questions for me, just ask in the comments, and I will be leaving a link down in the video to Dadbod's video on SR and R units and why not to upgrade them. So any questions about that, just message me, and I'll have my Discord and the Discord server I'm in the description, so you can join it and contact me or message anyone else that is helpful in that server. And with that, the video comes to a close, and I will see you guys in the next one.